Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's your friendly neighborhood makeup hobgoblin here, and in today's video I want to give you guys a ginormous list of all of the drugstore slash lower end price point slash mass cosmetic top recommendations to you guys, because I talk about a lot of high-end and luxury things, but there are some drugstore staples that I have, and I tried to do a wide range because I know some affordable drugstore brands in the US are not affordable drugstore brands in other places. So I kind of tried to get a bunch of different options, and I'm hoping that if there's anything that you end up wanting to try, I'm really hoping that you're able to get it wherever you live. So it's a lot. There's a lot that I have to talk about. And I almost forgot one, so let me go put that where it needs to go. All right, so I'm gonna start with face, and keep in mind I like light coverage, sometimes medium. That's for my base, my concealer. I like to be glowy, I like to be dewy. I don't really use a lot of powder, and I have a light, medium, neutral skin tone. So if you are down for any of that, here we go. So I'm gonna start with primer. My top two are going to be the Wet n Wild Glass Correct, because again, I really like having that dewy base. I know some people really like the Impossible Primer. That one's not in my top, but these two are. They don't really cancel redness much, or like they don't come out yellow and green. They really sheer out, so you could almost use this as a liquid highlight too if you were to mix it into products, but I really do like these. For foundation type products, two are technically glow bases and one's a primer, a foundation. So these two, it's the Maybelline Perfector 4-in-1 Glow Makeup. I have the shade, I think this is in the shade Light, and then the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Glotion in the shade Medium. And then for a traditional foundation, it's the Neutrogena Hydro Boost Hydrating Tint, and I have the shade Nude 40. This is really sheer, but I really enjoy it. It wears really nicely throughout the day, because some days I'll be at work for almost 10 hours, and it just wears away really well, because I am a face toucher. I'm always wiping my face. It's horrible, I know, but it's one of my worst traits. And then even with the glow bases, I wear these as foundation. So if you like that glowy look, I would say to go to these. I think there's more shades in the Lumi Glotion, but the Maybelline one goes pretty deep, so hopefully you could find a shade that you like in there, and I'm hoping across these brands that you're able to have access to one of them. I only have one powder to recommend, and it's the L'Oreal True Match Powder. I wear the shade N3, and I recommend this as like an actual powder foundation. This is pretty much the same shade as my skin. I can literally swipe it on and swipe it wherever, or I can lightly set with it. And this one does come with like a mirror and a sponge. So if you feel like you need that for like on the go, you have it. And they have a relatively large shade range, going with neutral, warm, and cool. And again, I'm in N3 Natural Buff. For drugstore makeup, I tend to lean towards things that are like natural buff, buff beige, things like that. Concealer, I would say, is my largest category. I love concealer a lot, so I have a pile. Recently I've been using the Maybelline Superstay Activewear. This is in the shade 15. I'm wearing this today. I really enjoy it. It's somewhat self-setting, so I don't have to set it. I have the Wet n Wild Incognito. I'm in the shade Light Medium. Really like this. The Morphe Peak of Peach Hide and Peak Concealer. I really enjoy this one. Again, it's not traditional drugstore. You can find it at Ulta though. A new one is the e.l.f. Flawless Brightening Concealer. I'm in the shade Light 26N. I've really been liking this. It has a click-up pen applicator, so if you're not into that, you know. The NYX Bear With Me Serum Concealer. I'm in the shade Beige, and this is really pretty. I'm actually getting back into this because I bought it when it first came out, and then I stopped using it just from other things coming out, and I'm really obsessed with it again. Next, I have the Revlon Color Stay Skin Awaken Concealer, and I'm in the shade 25 Light Beige. This one has that little puffy squishy thing on the bottom, so if you're into that, then you have that, and if not, you can always rip it off. And then I also have the number 7 Lift and Illuminate Serum Concealer in the shade Light Medium. I really, really like this. I found it at a drugstore when I was on a vacation, because not every like pharmacy drugstore carries number 7, but I did find that one. And then I do have an honorable mention. I just haven't opened it. This was a backup. It's the Revolution Conceal and Define Full Coverage Concealer. I have the shade C8. I actually used one entirely up, so I have this one unopened because I have so many other concealers at this time. I just haven't opened it. But that is it for the base products. And then jumping into color cosmetics for the base. I don't even know where to start. Okay, let's start with cream blush. So my top two from the drugstore side is the Pixie On The Go blush and then the Milani Cheek Kiss blushes. I have every shade of this except for one of the darker ones. I love this formula. I think it's really nice. The only issue I've had is that my thing had fallen out of the pan once. And then the Pixie On The Go blush, it's like a little deodorant stick. There's a bunch of shades in here, and they even have some more vibrant like reds and oranges, which would probably work on deeper skin tones. I have tried the bronze and glow, but I prefer the blush and glows. For powder blush, I have two. I have Flower Beauty and Burt's Bees, and these are both going to be harder to find brands. An honorable mention would be ColourPop, but they aren't really proper drugstore. So these are them. These are both more matte finish blushes. I've found at the drugstore they tend to do that best. But I like all shades in these. Like I have all the Burt's Bees ones and almost all of the Flower Beauty ones. I think that they're really good if you can get them. And Flower Beauty does a lot of sales on the website, so you can always get a deal. Next, I didn't have much for bronzer. I am a bronzer snob. But for cream bronzer, I actually have two concealers. I have the LA Girl Pro Conceal in the shade Toast and the L'Oreal Full Wear Infallible in the shade Chestnut. These are both really great. They're gonna add a little more coverage. You can sheer them out. And I feel like the LA Girl has a huge line for contour because they're made for that too. Like they have correctors, concealers, and contour. But I use them more as bronzers. If you have trouble finding a cream contour, you can always lean towards a concealer or even a foundation in a deeper tone if you know you really like the formula. I think you could also probably use the Maybelline Glow Perfector. I don't think I liked that when I tried that one. For powder bronzer, it's going to go to the Maybelline City Bronzer. This is in the shade 200. This one's the one I recommend the most. The shade range isn't that great because the darker shade than this is just super red toned, and the lighter one was way too light for me. But I do feel like they're pretty good for the, if you can find one in your shade. Like this one has a slightly yellow undertone, which actually becomes really, really flattering as a bronzer. And I know that a lot of YouTubers still recommend this, and I know why. I do not have any liquid highlighters. You would have to go towards those glow bases I already mentioned. But for a really affordable one, this is from J-Cat Beauty. I think you can get this online at Sephora. at Ulta. And this is the shade Bella Rose. This just looks wet on the skin, and I don't understand how. I don't understand why. I actually bought this from Samantha March's Poshmark when she was listing like bundles of things, because I wanted the Marc Jacobs highlighter she was decluttering, or she was, selling, and this came in that bundle, and I'm so grateful that it did. If I ever do someone else's makeup, I'm using this on them because it's so beautiful. And then I also have the Pixie ones. These are the Glowy Gossamer Duos. These are amazing. These are insane. I do think they're not as easy to find as they once were, but I got both of mine from a TJ Maxx for less than $10. So if you're able to find them, you should snag them up. And I'm able to use almost every shade because they're just so reflective and glowy that it doesn't really look too intense on the eyes. All right, now we're gonna go to eyes and then we'll finish off with lips. All right, so for eyes, we'll start with the easiest thing, which would be brows. I have two brow products here. I have the Maybelline Brow Fast Sculpt, and I have the shade Deep Brown, and I have the e.l.f. Instant Eye Lift Brow Pencil, and I have the shade Neutral Brown, which is nice because it doesn't go too dark, because if I do a brown to match my hair, like a darker brown, it ends up looking too harsh on my eyes, on my like eyebrows in my opinion. And this one's great because it comes with a spoolie and it's a slightly wider tip, but I think it's workable. And they have, I know they've got like an auburn and a more blonde shade, and they're only $3, so I'm sure if you had to buy two to mix, it would still be a good deal. And then the Brow Fast Sculpt, I love this thing. It's got a really cool, I don't know, I got this because of Emily Noel 83 on YouTube, and her recommendation was fantastic. An honorable mention would be the e.l.f. Wow Brow, but I just fell in love with this one. So for eyes, I've got a mix of creams, singles, and powder. So to start, let's start with these two just to get them out of the way. I am putting two ColourPop Super Shocks in here. I know ColourPop is not easily accessible / drugstore to some people once they have to pay customs and all of that, but for at least the people in the US, I did want to recommend these because you do have access to them. The shades that I recommend most are a little quirky, which I don't know if you can get this at Ulta, but one that you can is Ritz, and I think Kush. They are with the That's Taupe palette on the display. These are absolutely stunning. These are probably my top two, and I've got a lot of Super Shocks, and they are really nice. And a good thing too, if you have access to an Ulta, you can go in and swatch them, and you can pick the color that you feel is best for you, whether it's a metallic formula, a glitter formula. They have a bigger display now, so you're able to test those out. Right behind that, which also might be harder to get because I know e.l.f. is a little bit harder to get in other countries, or it's not affordable, but the e.l.f. No Budge eyeshadow, cream eyeshadow sticks, but not their regular ones, only their limited edition ones. These ones I find are really, really nice to work with. This is just the mint, the blue, and the white. I've got a few others, I just forgot to grab them out. These are great. They blend really well, and I've had no issues with them. I really, really did not like the ones in their permanent line. I felt that they were so sheer and lackluster. Like, what's the point of even putting it on my eye? But their limited edition ones I do recommend, and these are still available on their website, so I don't feel bad telling you about them. And then when we jump into liquid eyeshadows, I've got these from Ulta Beauty. These are their matte cream eyeshadows. I do have all four. I highly, highly recommend them. I know it's not accessible to people outside of the US, but these are so good. I got them because of Amanda Z, and she was totally right, but I wish they had more shades since they only have 4 and they're quite light. But they are a really, really, really nice formula. And then I have 2 from L'Oreal. These are the Brilliant Eyes liquid shadows. I purchased these off of the recommendation by Shelby Wilson. I own all of them except for like a red and something like that, but these are really, really beautiful. They are on Amazon. There should be in all like drugstore pharmacies at this point. And L'Oreal I do think is an international brand because L'Oreal is not American. So I hope you can get a hold of these if you like a liquid cream eyeshadow. These are really, really nice. Another good liquid cream eyeshadow is the NYX Glow Shots. I do not know how easily accessible NYX is in other countries. I truly don't know. But here, you know, they're there. I really do like these. These were another Amanda Z recommendation, and I would recommend them. You probably don't need all of them because some of the shades can look kind of similar, but I feel like they're a really, really good formula. Jumping into random ones before we get to palettes. So I wanted to talk about some eyeliners. Honorable mention is ColourPop, but this one, it's a sharpenable pencil. It's not a twist up. This is Lost Girl from the Tinkerbell collection. It's like a bronze. If you can find this one. this one. I don't know about their other ones, that one. And then we have the Pixie by Petra. This is the Hello Kitty one. I just grabbed this as an example. Those eyeliners are great, but they're a little bit pricey. But my number one would be the LA Girl Shockwave Neon Liners. Also the pastel ones. I have them all. I have all of them. They are great and they last in the waterline for me almost all day. You can use them as a base. You can use them as an inner corner highlight. I've used them as liners because they have all different colors. I have a black one from the Shockwave collection that I use on the top. So I really recommend them, and they are sharpenable. You just got to give it a little bit of a push because of the plastic casing. The pastel ones are twist ups, which I don't like as much, but I didn't invent them. My number one mascara, and I feel like y'all always talk about my lashes on Instagram. Any mascara pretty much looks good on me, but my favorite one is the Maybelline Total Temptation. This is not waterproof, it's just a regular black. The brush looks like this. It's just stunning. They make it in brown, they make it in waterproof. This is by far my favorite mascara. An honorable mention that I just don't have any open tubes to show you is the L'Oreal Bambi Eyes. I used the waterproof version on my wedding day, if that tells you anything. One that I forgot would be Ardell Naked Lashes for, me at least, just for, recommendation for eyelashes, because I didn't want to leave that hanging because some of y'all love lashes. These are the ones in 424. I think these are the same ones that I wore at my wedding, but there are Ardell Naked Lashes. This line is so beautiful. I just shout that out. So eyeshadow palettes. Firstly, don't get too mad. I do want to shout out BH Cosmetics if you can still find these. This is the Blueberry Muffin. I do think I changed a shade or two in here. Their palettes were great. I don't know if they're going to be the same quality now that Makeup Revolution absorbed them, but if you can find any of these old ones at like a TJ Maxx or any sort of discount store, I would get them because they are really good, and if you have them, jump back into them. Highly recommend BH Cosmetics, especially the Square Pan formula. And then two from ColourPop. I just wanted to put this in there because it is a more affordable brand for some people. The Mandalorian palette, I don't believe, or the Child palette, I don't know if this is still at Ulta, but it's a beautiful palette. It's adorable, and for it being a collab with a company, I can't remember what the word is, a corporation or whatnot, this was a really solid palette, and if you like greens and like neutrally greens, this would be a really good palette for you. My favorite ColourPop palette, don't ask me why. I know it's the Wild Nothing palette. It's nothing special, but I love this palette. I think I wore it for like 2 months straight when I first got it. I had to stop wearing it because I felt bad using the same one in all my looks on here. I really enjoy this palette, and if you have to have a somewhat lighter skin tone for this, but they do make darker ones like the Off Melrose. They have a lot of options if it's a brand that you can get. For the international babies, the Beauty Bay palettes, this was just the Nikkie Tutorials one. I just grabbed this to grab it. These palettes are literally amazing, stunning, slay my life. I have almost all of them. I didn't purchase the newest one, the Mood one, not for me. But these palettes are amazing, and for me being in the US, when I order these, they're less than $25 with shipping. Can't really track it that well, but one day it just appears. It's a pretty good deal if I do say so myself. And then finally, we're going to jump into lips. So the first thing I'm going to recommend for lips is going to be a lip mask, and for me it's the ColourPop ones. I really like these, but I like the mint ones and the pink Powerpuff Girl one. If you need a good lip mask and you can have access to ColourPop, I would recommend them. For a lip plumper, the LA Girl Tinted Lip Plumper. This is cinnamon, right? It's a cinnamon fire. Yeah, it's a cinnamon fire, but oh, is it good, and does it work, and does it last? So if you need a lip plumper, highly recommend that. For lip liner, it's gonna go to the NYX lip pencils. My two favorites are Nude Beige and Nude Truffle because I'm into that more neutral, if not slightly leaning cool toned look. But all of the NYX lip liners, these are under $5. These are so good and I highly recommend them. I would say the Maybelline ones are good too, but they changed the packaging and I assume the formula and the names, because the one Maybelline one I have, it does not look like the ones that are being made today. Random singular products would be this Revlon Color Burst Matte Lip Balm, specifically in the shade Sultry. These are minty, and it's just one of those crayon products. I really like this color. I do remember it being slightly drying on the lips, but the color was worth the wear, and that was from Revlon. Then I have a, what's this? It's like a glowy lip balm thing. This is from L'Oreal. I have the shade Feathery Fleur. This one's my favorite. They smell horrible. They smell like a plastic old lady. I don't even know. But I really like the look of these. They're a dupe for the Rowan lip balms, liquid lip balms. They're a liquid lip balm. And I highly recommend this one. I recommend this color if you have a similar skin tone to me because it's really pretty. For a traditional lip gloss, I'm going to recommend the e.l.f. Cookies and Dreams. This is in the shade, that's not the shade, Cookie Dreams Cookie. That doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, anyway, it's the black one, and this is like a gray. It will basically cool down any lip you have underneath it, and it actually smells really good. It smells really sweet like vanilla. I expected these to smell disgusting for being e.l.f. lip glosses because I hadn't tried them in so long. This is still available on their website. If you like a cool tone lip look, I would recommend this one. And if the other ones in their formula are similar, I was pleasantly surprised. For a traditional lipstick, I'm gonna jump on that TikTok trend and I'm gonna go with the Rimmel London Lasting Finish lipsticks. I have two shades and they're both TikTok famous. So I've got Heather Shimmer, which is that nice 90s lip, but then I also have Coffee Shimmer, which is also the nice 90s lip. I'm sure there are other colors, other tones, other finishes, but for these to be so affordable and give me that bombshell vibe I was going for when I bought them, I can't recommend it enough. And then next I have Maybelline's Color Stay Super Stay Matte Ink. These are probably the best drugstore liquid lipstick you can get a hold of. My number one shade is 65 Seductress. Is this it, or do I have another one? I think I have another one that's downstairs. No, that one's better. Amazonian. Amazonian is my favorite. Oh my god, it's in my purse. That's why I was like, this doesn't look right. Amazonian is my favorite. I think it's number 70. And then I have Seductress. I've got this Birthday Blue. It's called Birthday Babe. And then I got Huntress recently. Have not used these two yet. But knowing the formula, I know they're going to be opaque. And of course for the blue one, it's kind of a crazy lip, but it might be good for a look. But yeah, these are really good. I am personally getting back into liquid lipsticks due to my horrible habit that comes in with face touching is lip peeling and ripping my lips apart. So having a liquid lipstick on when I go to work prevents me from wanting to touch my lips because I really don't want to mess up my lipstick. So I've been trying to use more liquid lipsticks, and these are some of the best. They have so many colors as well. Even like from the nudist nude down to black. So highly recommend these if you haven't tried them, because I didn't try it until this year and I felt like, have I just been sleeping on this the whole time? I felt like such a fool. And then for brushes, this is my final one, and I'm just going to grab a handful of them, and some of them are going to be dirty, but I don't care. We're just going to get the point across. Real Techniques. They have some of the best brushes. They've got different collections. I typically buy their holiday ones once they go on sale after the holidays or when they're back at Marshall's. Their eye brushes I love. I have no complaints with them. A runner-up, if you can find them, this is a very specific thing. Only the limited edition Wet n Wild brushes, not their regular line, not whatever that is. Their limited edition ones are so nice, and they're always cute. They always do this thing, and they're like under 10 bucks. So cute, so cute. So Real Techniques is kind of always guaranteed to be somewhere, but then the Wet n Wild limited edition collections, if you can snag them, get them. So that is it for my video. I really hope this might help some of you. I know not everybody is out here throwing down for Natasha Denona and Gucci blushes and Lisa Eldridge lipsticks because it's a little unrealistic sometimes. I'm hoping that if you decide to try any of these products that you enjoy them. Just make sure that you like a similar makeup look to me, because if you like a full coverage like matte look, some of these things aren't going to make sense for you. So please don't buy them thinking that you're going to enjoy them. But yeah, that is it for today's video. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. If you've tried any of these products, let me know down below what your favorites are, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Bye.